Hey guys, Josh here from Sportitude. Today coming at you with a new shoe review. Now in my hand I have here and below this little guy, we've got the Mizuno Wave Inspire 14. So just dropped spring in Australia 2017. So some great feature updates on this little guy, which I'm going to get stuck into in 2 ticks. Big changes from the 13 to the 14. So without further ado, let's get cracking. So Wave Inspire 14. First and foremost, what foot type fits inside this little shoe here? So in terms of how we fit the Wave Inspire 14, we look at the foot type and we need to assess whether it's a pronated foot type or a neutral foot type. Now, the reason being is they've injected, or they have always carried in the Inspire series, a form of arch support. So how Mizuno do it is they use a wave plate on the medial side that is essentially built up like so. They don't use a dual density foam, which other brands have used. Brooks and Asics, for example, will use a firmer density, or dual density being double density under the arch area. So in terms of the actual arch support that Mizuno use, it's very supportive, but it's not intrusive. You don't feel it on the arch as much as you do in some of the other dual density brands. So getting back to the foot type, so talking about who would run in this shoe here, it's a foot type that rolls in. So a pronated foot type. Got my little foot model here, which I'll discuss. So as the foot comes down heel strike, comes through to mid starts, what we see is the foot just collapses ever so slightly on that medial side, which can put a bit of twist on the ankle joint, the shins, knees and hips as we go up. So to minimize that amount of pronation velocity, what Mizuno have done, as I said before, have put in that little bit of arch support through here. So there you have it, a bit of arch support. Now in terms of the cushioning system, what Mizuno have used in the past is their euphoric or their euphoric X cushioning system. So it's been easy to identify in previous shoes because they've split the color schemes, pardon me, so I can point out which foam is softer than the other. However, cosmetically, they've made a decision at their head office that they want to make the shoe a little bit cleaner. And to be honest, I really like the look of this shoe. It's nice and clean, has a great sort of pop off the shelf, as you could say. It's a big, big improvement for Mizuno, and I'll hand on heart, I love Mizuno shoes, but they've probably been off the mark a little bit in their cosmetics in the past, but they're really, really bang on with this little guy. So if I just get back to the cushioning, Euphoric X is their soft cushioning system, sits just under their strike zone, which is the heel region through here, and on top of that wave plate is their euphoric cushioning system. So it's not quite as soft as the Euphoric X, gives a little bit more response, and that goes right the way through to the forefoot. Now the wave plate, as I touched on before, has the medial support. The wave plate in this shoe here, if I flip it upside down, it finishes roughly where my finger is through here, so just before that first flex groove. So what that essentially does for the Mizuno shoe is as you come through to that mid starts to toe off transition, through that forefoot, it's not as stiff as previously it has been with other shoes, not the Inspire, but for example, they're going back a few years now, the Wave Nirvana, then they went to the Horizon, the Paradox, all have forefoot specific wave plates. So with this little guy, they don't have that. It's a lot more flexible through the forefoot part of me, which essentially offers you a very quicker transition through toe off. Getting back to the other features which I like about the shoe. Now, I'll pick the women's up here. I love the depth of their heel counters. Mizuno has always felt a little bit deeper through the heel counter through here. So what that does is when the foot hits the ground, whether it be heel strike or mid stance, getting a lot more support in that region of the upper. So they use an internal heel counter, nice and stable, very strong. So the support in the upper of the shoe is fantastic. As you come through to their upward changes they've done through the forefoot, what they have essentially tried here is they've made the shoe a little bit lighter through the forefoot. However, previously to the Wave Inspire 13, the feedback was it was quite boxy through the forefoot, so we're finding it quite difficult to fit in store. Putting your foot in, there's a bit of bundling going on in the upper through here, so you didn't get that full feeling through forefoot when you're toeing off. So essentially the upper and the forefoot, I need to touch on this, is when you go from mid starts to toe off, you don't want to have too much movement through here, because if you do, you're going to be moving off the platform support that the shoe's actually engineered on. So it's really important that the forefoot's nice and stable. So I can tell you right now, the upper in this little guy is firm, it's solid, not intrusive, doesn't hug the foot too much, but it just gives you a little bit more support through there. Other things I like to talk on is what they've done is just thrown in a few more overlays through what we call the navicular region through here. So what that does, again, when we're loading heel strike to mid starts, this position here, when your foot's in this position, all the weight is on this one leg while the other foot's up in the air. So the navicular region, or the upper that plays through here, it's vital that it's nice and stable. Not too strong, not too tight, because you need a little bit of expansion for your foot to then transition through to forefoot toe off. But it's certainly a big improvement from the Inspire 13. So again, I've sort of touched on Mizuno's in the past. So engineering-wise, from the here down, or the foot down, pardon me, they carried that story for 2 years. Now this is the first big change I've seen in the Inspire for a couple of years now. So from the foot down, it's a slightly lighter, softer feel, and in the upper, it's again a lighter but more secure fit. So in terms of the shoe itself, going back in the last 10 years, I think this is easily one of Mizuno's best updates from their previous model. So there you have it, guys. I must talk on, they do come in widths. Now, not this specific ones I'm holding in my hands through here. There are widths in the Mizuno Wave Inspire story. So the ladies, we've got a 2A, which is narrow. They have a B, which is standard, and then a D, which is a little bit wider. In the men's, it's a standard D, and they offer a 2E width as well. So to get a bit of a closer look at the other colors, the subtle features of the shoes, please click the link below this video. They'll take you through to the Mizuno Wave Inspire page on Sportitude. Have a quick look, check it out. Any questions, don't forget to write a comment below. Guys, thanks for watching, and happy running. We'll see you next time.